Chapter 201. Mrs. Wilson was struck by lightning at this time. How did that happen? Only Charlie could have such a big energy? Even the White family broke with their Wilson family. At the thought of this, her heart throbbed with pain. She wanted to beg Solmont not to abandon the Wilson family at this time, but the other party didn't pay attention to her at all. After saying that they were about to divorce, they swaggered to take Gerald and left. Wendy broke down and cried. She accompanied Gerald for several years, and gave everything to the other party, even they were pregnant with child, and now, everything has disappeared. Therefore, she has an unforgettable hatred towards Grandma in her heart. Her father, Noah, was also very depressed. He followed the Lady Wilson and ditched his younger brother's family, but he didn't seem to get any benefits. More importantly, the son was injured and arrested, and the daughter was abandoned by the fiancé's family. This really gave him an irreparable loss. He complained to the old Mrs. Wilson, "Mom, I usually listen to you in everything, but at this point, my family has lost too much." At this time, the old Mrs. Wilson tried to stabilize their emotions, and said, "Don't panic. Why anxious? Harold just spends money to redeem the people. As for Wendy's marriage, what are we afraid of? Good women don't have to worry about marrying. Our Wendy is beautiful, and I don't know how many rich sons will line up to pursue her tomorrow." After speaking, the Lady Wilson said again, "Don't forget, we still have the Emgrand Group's contract in hand. This is our Wilson family's turnaround battle. If we win this battle, our Wilson family will still need to rely on in the future. As the kings? Do we still need to depend on the rich? We are the rich ourselves." Noah hurriedly asked, "Mom, the Emgrand Group's project was previously in hands of Claire's dead girl. Now she has been kicked out of the Wilson Group. This project, as well as the position of director, should be replaced." "Change? Of course you want to change." The Lady Wilson blurted out immediately, "Don't worry, I will give this position to Harold. When Harold comes out, he will be the director of the Wilson Group and is fully responsible for the cooperation between the Wilson Group and the Emgrand Group." Noah Wilson gratefully rejoiced, and the whole person finally got some comfort. The loss is so great that if the Lady Wilson doesn't make up for herself a little, it is really impossible. Since this project is given to her son, then her son will still have a chance to stand up in the future. At this time, Mrs. Wilson exhorted, there must be no gaps in the cooperation of the Emgrand Group. When the time comes, Harold will give me an all-out connection. We must take down this project beautifully, even from the Emgrand Group. Get more projects in your hands. Noah Wilson said immediately, "Mom, don't worry, I will let Harold go all out." While talking, someone knocked on the door. Immediately afterwards, a man in a suit walked into the courtyard of the Wilson family mansion. "Excuse me, is Mrs. Wilson at home?" Old Mrs. Wilson greeted her and asked, "I am. Who are you?" The other party said, "Hello, I am the chief lawyer of Emgrand Group." When she heard that it was a member of the Emgrand Group, Mrs. Wilson hurriedly said enthusiastically, Oh. It turned out to be a barrister of the Emgrand Group. "Come in. Come in." "No," the other party said coldly, "I'm here to give you a lawyer's letter in person." "Lawyer's letter?" Mrs. Wilson asked in surprise, "What lawyer's letter?" The other party said, "The lawyer's letter for the termination of the contract. Our Emgrand Group has decided to terminate all cooperation with the Wilson family after negotiation, and will never have any form of cooperation with the Wilson family in the future. Please receive the lawyer's letter within 3 days. Go to the Emgrand Group to complete the agreement procedures." What? Chapter 202. For the Lady Wilson and Noah, this was a bolt from the blue. Just now, they said that the Emgrand Group was the Wilson family's turn to rely on. Now the Emgrand Group has come to terminate the contract and never cooperate with the Wilson family? This is to block the Wilson family. The Lady Wilson tremblingly asked, "Lawyer, what is going on? Why is this? Isn't our cooperation good?" The lawyer said coldly, "Our cooperation with Ms. Claire is very good, but I heard that Ms. Claire has left your Wilson Group. I am embarrassed. We don't want to cooperate with you people anymore. Only then did the old Mrs. Wilson understood that it was Claire. She was suddenly angry. Why? Why do you have to revolve around that unbelievable granddaughter? She is a rubbish. She herself married a rubbish. The Wilson family is old Mrs. Wilson has the final say. You should give me face. Why give her face? Why only look at her face? Old Mrs. Wilson was a little angry, and she blurted out, Your Emgrand Group can be considered a big company with a good reputation. Just so casually unilaterally terminate the contract with us, aren't you afraid that we will go to the court to sue you? Are you not afraid of this incident? After going out, will it affect the reputation of your Emgrand Group? The lawyer smiled indifferently and said, Mrs. Wilson, have you not seen the contract before? For all the external cooperation of our Emgrand Group, we have the right to unilaterally stop the cooperation. This is the privilege of Party A, haven't you heard of it? Yes, does the engineering work, is Party A the father? After that, the lawyer said again, even if the whole Orris Hill, and even the whole country, know that we are uncooperative with you. We are reasonable and legal. And it was not me that scared you, Mrs. Wilson, our Emgrand Group is very famous in the country. Big, the company we blocked, other companies generally dare not cooperate, so, for your Wilson Group, please ask for more luck in the future. You, Mrs. Wilson was indeed shocked by these words. Blocked by Emgrand Group. How will you mess up from now on? Isn't the future of the Wilson Group going to end? If no one is willing to cooperate with an engineering company, it will have only one end. Bankruptcy. Do not. No way. The Lady Wilson is already hysterical at this time. The Wilson Group is mine. The Wilson Group should become a leader and make me an object of respect for everyone. Let me enjoy the endless glory and wealth. It cannot go bankrupt. It must not go bankrupt. Thinking of this, the Lady Wilson burst into tears and begged, Lawyer, I beg you for the sake of my age. Tell you Doris, I beg for mercy, everything in the Wilson Group is on the line. The cooperation with your company is on. At this time, your company can't abandon us. The lawyer sneered, I'm sorry, Lady Wilson, the decision not to cooperate with you and block you was made by our CEO. Our CEO also said that you are disrespectful and shameless old things like you are not worthy of cooperation with us. After speaking, he dropped the cancellation letter, turned and left. Old Mrs. Wilson was very angry, spit out a big mouthful of blood, and fell to the ground unconscious. Chapter 203. The news that the Emgrand Group banned the Wilson Group soon came out. Just when the whole Orris Hill knew that the Wilson family was finished, it came out that the old Mrs. Wilson was in a hurry and was hospitalized. After Charlie's father-in-law Jacob heard the news, there was surprisingly no disturbance. He said to his daughter and son-in-law, with my mother's personality and the need to control the psychology of others throughout her life, it will be a matter of time to lose. There is nothing to be sympathetic to. Let her reflect on it in the hospital. Maybe she can figure out her life. What is wrong with it? Charlie felt that Jacob had been confused, and it was rare to see the essence of things this time. When the family breathed a sigh of relief, his wife, Claire, began to work on the job search quietly. In the evening, when Charlie had just finished cooking, he suddenly heard the sound of opening the door behind him. He turned around and saw Jacob coming in from the door with a smile on his face, his footsteps vigorous. Charlie looked at Jacob's happy look and couldn't help asking, Dad, you went for a walk around. What good things have happened? Ha ha ha, I'm really lucky today. Jacob said with joy, after I took the pills you gave, not only the pain in my body disappeared, but the spirit also improved. It is a panacea. No, I just went to the antique street to stroll around. Guess who I met? Who? Charlie felt a little bit in his heart. Could it be that Jacob was coaxed around by the counterfeit dealers and killed him as a fat sheep once again? He quickly looked up and down at Jacob and breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, he held nothing with his hands empty. Jacob took a sip of tea and said mysteriously, Sir, do you remember the last time we met Irvin Jones, who was a scammer in Antique Street, right? Remember what happened? Ha ha, I met this kid as soon as I went today. Charlie was shocked. Dad, you won't buy his goods again, will you? No, Jacob waved his hand and said happily, this Irvin Jones, now that he know that I am your old master, he dare not be clever at all. Not only did he give me a piece of ancient jade pendant, he also helped me sell the pills up. Charlie frowned, and the ancient jade pendant Irvin Jones gave to Jacob was probably a fake, but it was strange that he actually helped Jacob sell medicine. What pill? It's the medicine you made for me to treat traumatic injuries. It's called the heart relief pill. Jacob slapped his thigh and said excitedly, my injuries are all healed. Irvin Jones heard that this pill is so effective he said he had a way to sell the pills for me, so I gave him 2 pills, but I didn't expect them to be sold. Charlie was dumbfounded. Pills are not a rare thing, and the old master can only throw them away if he can't finish eating them, but this Irvin Jones can really take advantage of the loopholes, and he can even sell the leftover medicine. Dad, this medicine is not right, how can you sell it? Jacob said, I don't know about that. Anyway, Irvin Jones helped me sell the medicine. Guess how much it sold? Over 1,000? Your point is not even a fraction. Jacob triumphed and slapped, it's 500,000. Puff! Charlie was drinking water, and the water in his mouth spurted out suddenly. He couldn't believe it. The pill that cost less than 100 was sold for 500,000 by Irvin Jones, a profiteer? Chapter 204. Who is the hapless person who has a lot of money and is fooled by this profiteer? Charlie couldn't help asking, which wrongdo did this profiteer sell the medicine to? I don't know, Irvin Jones said that he has professional ethics and must keep his client secret. After Jacob finished speaking, he shook his head and sighed, the 500,000, he hit my card with a lot of money, saying that he was filial to you. I will give him a bit of hard work. He doesn't want it. These 2 hairs do business. His talent, when he stops making fakes, I advise him to do a decent job and go to work. Charlie shook his head. People like Irvin Jones can't change the T. He has been kidnapped since he was a child, and it has become commonplace. If he really wants to go to work for a day, I am afraid this is like killing him. It is impossible for him to go to work, he will never go to work in his life. However, since the pills are sold at a high price by the old master, they can be used as subsidies for the family. Anyway, the Wilson family recently left the Wilson Company, and Claire might have to be unemployed at home for a while, and the old master's dividends from the Wilson Company might not be available, so it was just the money to make the transition. After earning 500,000 in vain, Jacob's originally depressed mood was swept away, and he walked all the way into the bedroom humming the Red Lantern of Peking Opera, finally showing a smile on his face. Charlie went back to the bedroom and told Claire about it. Claire almost jumped out of bed and asked nervously, others spend a lot of money to buy pills, but money matters. If something goes wrong with eating that thing, can we get away with it? Don't worry. Charlie said with a smile, this blood relief pill is only for removing blood stasis and invigorating blood. The materials are not valuable. They can't be eaten as a meal, and they will have nosebleeds for 2 days at most. The blame is to buy medicine customers, people are stupid and have a lot of money. Claire was still worried, then you say, who on earth is willing to spend 500,000 to buy these 2 pills? Charlie said casually, it may be someone who has a cerebral obstruction or a cardiovascular and cerebrovascular disease. This pill is also very effective for these diseases. Hearing what he said, Claire's hanging mental complexity was relieved a lot. These types of diseases are serious medical illnesses, and it would cost no less than 500,000 to go to the hospital for treatment. I hope the medicine will work and don't make people spend so much money in vain. After eating, Charlie received a call from Orville when he was washing the dishes. Although Orville is known as the underground king of Aurors Hill, he has been low-key and depressed since he met Charlie. Although Charlie didn't look down on him, he had to say that Orville was quite sensible. Last time Stephen was bullied, and in the hospital ward, he also helped him solve a little problem. So at that time, Charlie had promised that he would give him a chance to rise to the top, but he did not expect that he would take the initiative to call himself. After answering the phone, Charlie asked him, "Mr. Orville, are you looking for me?" Orville hurriedly laughed and said, "Oh, Mr. Charlie. I called you this time because I heard about your order to the Orris Hill Metaphysical Circle. I would like to congratulate you." Charlie said coldly, "Don't talk to me here, just tell me if you have anything, don't grind." Orville hurriedly said, "Oh, Mr. Charlie, you know everything like a god, and you will see through it when I think about it carefully." Charlie asked coldly, "Still talking nonsense?" Orville hurriedly said, "That's how Mr. Charlie, the Song family has treated me well for many years. Their eldest lady has had some trouble recently. I would like to ask you to come over and take a look." Charlie said, "Miss of Song family? Warnier?" "Yes," said Orville, "Miss Warnier is in trouble." Chapter 205. The Song family to which Warnier belongs is the top family in Orris Hill. However, the Song family was still 1,000 miles away from the East Cliffs Wade family. But Warnier still doesn't know Charlie's true identity, so Charlie in her eyes is just a young man who has some research on antiques and then dabbled in metaphysics. The last time Charlie slammed thunder to death in Orris Hill, it really scared many people and was regarded as a master of metaphysics by many people. However, Charlie deliberately gave Warnier an indication that it was just a coincidence. After all, how could ordinary people order the sky thunder? Finally, Warnier was also confused, thinking that Charlie might indeed have more luck. Since then, Warnier has disappeared from Charlie's world. Charlie thought she was missing, but he didn't expect to be in trouble. So, he asked Orville, "What's the matter? What is wrong with Miss Song?" Orville said, "Miss Song recently committed Tai Sui. Maybe something went wrong with Feng Shui luck, and she was totally unlucky." After that, Orville said again, "I found many Feng Shui masters everywhere, but they can't solve the problem. I would like to ask you to have a look, see if you can break the predicament of Missy." Charlie said calmly, "You can talk about what problems she has encountered first, so I might as well make a judgment." Orville hurriedly said, "The lady was injured recently. She has had several small car accidents. Then she sprained her foot when going down the stairs, burned the back of her hand while drinking coffee, and was bitten by her own dog yesterday. One mouthful. Not only that, but several important cooperations of the Song family group also had big problems and had a great impact on the income." After that, Orville said again, "The thing that saddens the eldest most is that she has somehow lost one of the most precious diamond necklaces she has worn for more than 10 years. It is the relic left by her mother before her death." The young lady cried for several days about this. Charlie chuckled twice, and said, "It seems that Miss Song has really had a bad luck recently." "Don't tell me." Orville looked at Charlie and said seriously, "Mr. Charlie, you are a master of metaphysics. I believe you must have a solution for this matter?" Charlie asked him back, "Mr. Orville, why are you so caring about Miss Song? What is your relationship with the Song family?" Mr. Orville hurriedly said, "I tell you, Mr. Charlie, Miss Song's grandfather is my benefactor. I was able to stand up in Orris Hill back then. It was all thanks to the support of Miss Song's grandfather. I originally wanted to repay him. I have always helped the Song family solve some inconvenient things for them to come forward." After that, Mr. Orville said again, "To put it bluntly, I just want to repay the favor. The Song family is my benefactor. En." Charlie nodded and said, "You are also sincere, and Miss Song and I have some friendship, so come and pick me from my house tomorrow. Let's go and take a look." "Okay." Orville said excitedly, "Thank you, Mr. Charlie. I am grateful." Early the next morning, Orville called Charlie.